Okay, hi everybody. Welcome to a game that everybody knows on a PlayStation 2, which this is a remake. One sec, I gotta go and take this call. Right, that was my mom.
Good day to you, gentlemen.
Tell me, young lady, to what do we owe this pleasure? Please do be brief. We do not have very much time on our hands.
As rectors of this university, we have serious matters to attend to, and our time is precious.
I have heard you wish to meet the owner of the train that is currently in your station. May I know the reason for your summons?
We are surprised that your train has not yet left, miss. The situation is most regrettable. The rules do clearly state that trains are meant to come and go and not remain stationary at a platform.
Trains should first stop, then subsequently leave. That is the rule.
We agree then, dear colleagues, that what we're dealing with is deviant behavior. This matter really is cause for concern.
It's a clockwork train, you see? So it needs winding up again. Unfortunately, there is no equipment in the station to do this.
A clockwork train? That's strange.
How very quaint. You mean it's some sort of mechanical toy?
You are causing a hindrance to us, miss.
I am very hopeful that I will find what I need along the wall.
The wall? Miss, that really is not a suitable place for you to go.
Especially for a young lady.
You see, miss, we freely admit that every day we praise the existence of that particular edifice. We owe the integrity of our dear university and the fine education it provides to the wall.
It protects us from harm and invasion from the unknown.
May God protect us from what is beyond those ramparts, miss. Please believe me.
I don't have any choice. I must continue my journey.
Such a decision is a correct one since it's in line with regulations.
Thus, your train will indeed be able to leave.
And consequently cease to obstruct our station.
I haven't introduced myself. My name is Kate Walker.
Walker, haven't we already had a Miss Walker? Ethnology Masters, September 1953, if my memory serves me correctly.
Perfectly well, my dear colleague. But if I may be so bold, it was a Mr. Walker and not a Miss. It was Bill Walker, sat this June 68 exams. The impudent fool turned up for the oral assessment in jeans, flouting strict internal regulations which explicitly state the required uniform for the occasion.
Pure incitement. It was scandalous. Sadly, we have seen worse since. Young people lack all respect of traditional values.
Tradition, young lady. One must always uphold tradition.
You see, I didn't actually intend to stop here, but the springs of my train gave up, you see?
No, not really. You mean to say you're not a student? You have arrived a little late in the term, miss. Enrollment for this year has already terminated.
But as rectors of this university and therefore representatives of its highest authority, we could bend the rules a little, if you like.
You don't understand. I'm a lawyer from New York, or rather, Valladolid, more precisely. My client wants to buy out an old mechanical toy factory, but its heir isn't actually dead and is living somewhere in Siberia. I've got to get to him to sign the sales contract. You see?
Not really. This is a most peculiar tale. A kerfuffle of the highest order.
We have an excellent law school, if you should ever change your mind.
Oh, I paid for all this, can't you pay?
What?
I paid for all this.
Can
Come
you
on,
possibly
pal.
help me out here?
That's not allowed to come in.
Miss,
I thought
your
you- I
insistence
thought you
is
said you don't
almost
have to.
verging on
What, with the
indecency.
Yeah.
They're not allowed to come in.
If you don't mind, could you
What
not
did you
disturb
message
us
me?
all the
I've done
time?
housework.
Thank
Yeah, it's some cleaning, yeah. Oh,
We
we know.
cannot constantly be at your disposal. We have many other requests to attend to.
I know.
Does the name Hans Vorarlberg mean anything to you by chance?
Ah, one of the brightest, most idealistic intellects to have graced our university. Hans Vorarlberg. I remember speaking to him once. I was still a student at the time. He just stared at me, lost in thought for a while. Yes,
You've
never
got
said
that
a
pal.
word.
You've got
How can
Yeah.
one forget him?
Idealistic? I'll grant you that. But bright? Oh, don't go too far. He was completely incapable of passing any exams. All he ever did was to sit in on lessons, and not many of them.
Your prescriptions that you're doing this week.
He had an
What,
unhealthy
meds?
passion
Yeah.
for
I
meds,
put some
Oh, you
which
put them
matched
in.
the state of his
All
intellect
right,
and
that's
preparations.
fine.
That is to
Oh,
say,
yeah, that one.
prehistoric.
Yeah.
Prehistoric? How
Yeah.
dare
They've
you?
got to
A
go
little
do it.
far
I'll keep
fetched,
you.
maybe.
Go
But
on.
he did have flashes of
Drop
intellectual
down,
brilliance,
yeah.
comprehensible
Yeah.
only to high
I just remembered now.
No, scored by appearances. My dear colleague, your hasty conclusions are somewhat cavalier.
While you're sitting here, I'm not going to munch too
My
much.
assessment is
What?
wholly
Milk.
accurate. The boy
Yeah.
was a little odd. You must concur if my father,
Okay.
who was rector of the university at the time, had not shown great indulgence towards him. Hans Vorarlberg would have never attended this establishment.
What about the bandstand, then? Is that the work of a deranged mind? Even after all these years, you are still jealous of it.
Fucking hell.
My dear
Yes, yes,
colleagues, I beseech you,
Like that.
let's show some
Ben.
decorum. We have a
Ben.
visitor.
Yeah, Chris binned it.
What do
Why?
you want with Hans
I don't know.
Vorarlberg,
He
miss?
just binned
Are
it.
you a member of his family?
No,
Not
not at all. I'm looking for him to
I know you
clear
did.
an inheritance
Binned it.
matter. Is he still here?
Because it was empty.
Yeah.
What?
Then he refills
Here?
Josie man.
At the university? No, not at all. He left a long time ago. Yes, a very long
Jesus
time
H.
ago. The very year I was nominated to this position, in fact. Almost 50 years ago already.
The poor soul moved on once he learned all he needed to know about mammoths. Ah, this establishment was never quite the same after his departure, it must be said.
You mean to say it was never as bad? All that oddball brought to this university was his misplaced fantasy.
Gentlemen,
Freezer's open.
let's try to retain
I know, it
calm
won't
and
close.
level-headedness that
I don't
befits
know,
our
it's-
position.
See what I mean? I've tried to close it.
Well,
Just
all your
won't.
food's going to defrost.
Excuse me.
Damn, I know. It's not my fault. It's
Miss,
the
we find ourselves
the
terribly
thingy.
put
I don't
out
know
by
what
the
it is.
presence
It's
of
like
the
the
train
side,
station
Oh,
and by its
that's
current
Ouch.
the side of the freezer.
Indeed, the situation is very regrettable.
Everyone's
Your
having the same
huge
problem.
locomotive is very cumbersome.
A train
Mark
should
has
first
the
stop,
same
then
problem.
subsequently leave. That is the
Mark
rule.
has freezers like I tried to close it. I basically
Yeah, because you're not shutting the drawers properly.
I am.
Well, I've just shut all the drawers and it's shut.
Well, the drawers was shut.
Oh, all right, Kat. Do you know
Can you
better?
possibly?
Miss,
If you don't, we cannot
I haven't
walk.
perfectly well.
Here it
I haven't
walk.
Perfectly well.
Here is
I've got loads of milk.
I haven't.
Remember to keep checking the... Keep
Perfectly
turn that
well,
off for a
Mike.
second.
here is.
I'm
Excuse
here.
me.
Trying to do stuff for your
Yes,
beer.
we find ourselves terribly put out by the presence of your train in our station and by its recurrent immobility. Indeed, the
Right, I'll
situation is
clean this
very
up. It's under
regrettable.
the sink.
Your huge
Alright.
locomotive is very cumbersome.
A train should first stop, then subsequently
I've
leave.
got you some crumpets,
Like,
some nuts, some cookies. Oh shit, I've done it again.
what? The whole.
Some Dairy Dunkers kegs,
That idea of the station aviary is really very original.
some chicken skewers because they're
It's
healthy.
the pride of our
Yeah.
university. One of the specialties taught here is zoology, you see, and more particularly ornithology. Proper study and instruction should not be limited to books. Observation of living matter is indissociable from theoretical questions. It contains some very rare specimens that have been brought back from faraway, exotic countries, especially for our university, by the world's most
Did you get me
intrepid
new
explorers.
powder?
Yeah.
Oh.
Do you remember Alexander Valenbois and his peculiar bird?
Absolutely. His gift produced some very embarrassing long-term
Just put
consequences.
this in your wallet.
A poison chalice, indeed. It must be said, the situation could have been much worse, however.
Right.
Oh, yes, it could have been terribly
Do you want
problematic.
me to message Rachel and remind her to tell staff to pick your script up if they can,
Yeah.
please?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
Can you tell me if I can find Yangala Cola here in Bachstadt?
This is disgusting.
I'm sorry.
You wouldn't do this if you lived in my house, Keegan.
What on earth are you suggesting, miss?
You wash your pots in my house.
Infuriating.
I am sorry. Look, are there any...
Yongala Cola.
The lady said, Yangala koala.
No, she said Yongala Cola.
No. You have no idea. It's Yangola koala. Do try to follow.
No! Right Honorable Assistant Rector, sir, are you in any way insinuating that I am hard of hearing?
Right, you have to shower.
I would not
No,
dream of
but
such
we're
an
not going to
insinuation, oh,
No,
right
so
honourable
yes,
assistant rector,
Yeah.
sir.
Get in the shower
Next
before
lady,
you
however,
have any
I
of your
seem to
snacks.
remember you having a little difficulty pronouncing tricky tropical names.
Okay?
What? I think
Please.
you'll find it's you who has
You've got
deficiencies in
steamed
the area of cultural matters.
Gentlemen, please. The right pronunciation is Yangala Cola. It's a little...
Right, if I
We
put a load of
understand.
washing on,
Hmm.
don't forget to get
Perfectly.
Okay?
and why might you be looking for this
You've seen this?
thingamajig?
No.
Indeed. What a strange
Let me
request.
see.
Why
Every
could you
single
possibly
time when I
need
put
Yangala koala?
Oh,
Do you want this box?
What?
Do you want me to open this new
Yeah.
box?
Yes, please.
You wouldn't know if there is any Forest Sauvignon here in Bachstadt, would you?
Absolutely.
When he says absolutely, he means, of course, absolutely none.
So, sorry.
What we mean, of course, is that we are absolutely positive there is no Forest Sauvignon here in Barakstadt.
Really? Are you sure? Because I read in a book that Bachstadt possesses a number of plants. I wouldn't mind getting a hold of some if possible.
Out of the question, miss. Don't forget the regulations, miss. Don't forget them. Trains should first stop, then subsequently leave. And quickly.
The assistant rector means to say that our priority is for you to remove your train from our station. Your research will have to wait until your next stop. Yes, that's right. Your train must leave the station immediately, so please refrain from wasting our time in needless visitations.
I'll put some in 1 and 2 because I'm not sure which one works, Keegan.
I just normally put it in well water.
Here we are, busy chatting, and look at the clock. It's tea time.
Already?
There's a load of washing on, okay?
Word, doesn't time fly by?
All darks.
Thank you for a charming visit, miss.
Right.
And thank you, gentlemen.
Right, what do I do? Just press start?
Alright.
Yeah.